Good morning, MS Bright Spots of Hope and fitness friends. We welcome you today, and we welcome Kelly Kauffmann, who's going to be conducting our class today. And Kelly, would you get us started and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, thank you so much for having me today. I am looking forward to working out with all of you and just connecting with people. My name is Kelly Kauffmann. I am a 500 RYT yoga instructor. I'm also a certified personal trainer and an integrative nutrition health coach. So in life, I teach several yoga classes a week. I also do in-home and online personal training, and I have several clients within the MS community that I go and see in their homes. So
I can't hear you very well.
Uh-oh. Is there anything that can be done, Michelle? I'm already on the top. Let me try and, can you still see me okay if I scoot up? Does that help? I don't know.
That's a little better.
Is it a little better? I'll try and, I want my feet to be seen, but I'll try and voice project. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, I think so.
Because that's the loudest my computer goes. I've got it on the highest speed.
Well, we can only do what we can do.
Okay.
I've got you on high volume now too, so you should be better.
Okay, perfect. All right, so today we're going to do some strength and stretch. I'm going to start out with some stretch, and I will get some music going in the background. But Michelle, give me a cue if the music ends up too loud for my voice, especially if it is hard to hear. So we'll start out with some stretch, and then we'll do some. Oh, I forgot.
I can't hear her at all.
I can't hear her at all. Can't hear you.
Unmute your microphones on your computers.
Yeah, I think she muted
Yeah,
herself.
I did that.
So I'm off mute. Is everybody else? Am I back? Can you hear me, Michelle?
Now I can hear you.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So you can have dumbbells available if you'd like, light dumbbells. You could also do it with just your own body weight. You do not have to have dumbbells if you don't like. Also a strap and a nice sturdy chair. A lot of these exercises can be done standing, but I will also let you know when standing is available. So I'm going to check the feed one more time. Oh, I saw some messages pop up, but I'm not sure what they were. So from here, if we're good to go, I'm just going to get a little music going just for background. I'm not going to turn the music very loud because I'm worried about voice. All right. So the first thing I want you to do is just to sit up in your sturdy chair. And I like to talk a little about posture to begin because it's going to affect all of our exercises and movements. You want to make sure that you spread the sitting bones so that you have a nice root to the sitting bones. Your feet are nice and flat on the earth. And then I want you to really think about lengthening your posture. Opening the chest, being as tall as you can. The crown is reaching towards the sky. And then from this place, give me one more signal, Michelle. If everything looks good, give me a thumbs up or something. Does the sound okay? All right. From this place, we're just going to firm the belly, pressing belly into spine. Inhale, reach and lengthen the arms nice and tall. Reach up to the sky if you can, as high as you can. And then from this place, bring the palms or the fingers together and down to heart center. Nice, one more time, firm the belly, inhale, reach and lift. Feel that nice length to the side bodies, and then bring the palms together and down to heart center. Nice, from here, we're just gonna warm up the torso with cow and cat. So I'm gonna have you put hands on lap, sit nicely tall, and then begin to lift the chest, arching the back, squeezing the blade bones together, squeezing the elbows back. Your hands might be sliding up towards the hip bones. Feel that back arching so that the belly stretches. And now we're gonna reverse it. So round the back like a turtle shell. Let the hands slide down to the knees, squeezing the belly nice and rounded. And then we're gonna go back and forth. Inhale, lift the chest, arch the back, pull those elbows back behind you, squeeze the blade bones. I hope you feel your back body energized and your front body stretching. And then exhale, roll and round like a turtle shell. This would be cat pose from seated. So as we round the back, we're squeezing the belly, dropping the chin down towards the chest. One more time. Inhale, opening the heart, squeezing the blade bones together like your elbows are trying to touch each other behind you. And then exhale into cat pose, rounding the back, squeezing the belly. Hands could be on the edges of the knees. And now sit super tall. Let the arms and shoulders just melt down your sides and just circle those shoulders a little bit. Just waking up everything. While we circle the shoulders, just let the hands begin to move. You can fist and extend, you could wrist circle, you could wake up those hands a little bit, as well as circling through the shoulders and elbows. Nice. I want you to continue to feel your belly nice and firm, and we're going to add to this. So now we're going to do some stretches. Let's inhale, reach to the sky or as high as you can reach, firming the belly, feeling that length. This time, keep your left hand in the air, bring your right hand down and secure it somewhere on your chair, and think about how tall you can reach the left hand. So your left side body is becoming very active all the way through the side, through the triceps, through the fingertips. If you're nice and secure on your chair, if you feel comfortable leaning to the right and then reaching to the right, you could add to the side stretch. You would want your bicep nice and close to your ear, and then tummy tight, and then bring both arms down, shake out the shoulders a little. And then we're gonna even that out on the other side, so doing the opposite arm. So firm the belly, inhale, reach and lengthen, feel your torso grow. Your right hand stays up in the air, your left arm comes down, secures somewhere on the chair, and you actively reach tall. Feel your side muscles begin to stretch. You can stay here sitting tall, or you can lean to the left, reaching to the left of the room. I really want you to feel like it's your side body and that your bicep is above your ear. And then tummy tight to come back up, release those arms and shake out those shoulders. Nice. From here, we're gonna sit nice and tall again, engage the core, and we're gonna take a twist. So from this tall seated position, I want you to trunk rotate to your right. As you turn to your right hand comes to the back of your chair and rests nicely. Your left hand on the outside of the right knee. Firm the belly, sit tall and well, engaging the core but opening the right heart. Feel your right blade bone engage and let the neck and shoulders be low and soft. Breathing. And then tummy tight, come back to center. We're gonna even out our twist. So sit tall, firming the belly, and then trunk rotate to your left. Your left hand will come towards the back of your chair and you're trying to open the left chest. So squeeze and engage that left blade bone. Your right hand could be on the outside of your left knee. Sit tall and firm the belly muscles. Breathing. Letting the crown be tall, but the shoulders be low. And then tummy tight to come back to center. And then from the center position, we're just gonna take some moments to inhale and exhale. So sitting nice and tall, take a nice inhalation and an exhalation. Take the time to deepen and lengthen your breaths. Continue with a couple more of those. Inhale nice and full. Exhale nice and full. One more time, take a nice inhale and a nice exhale. Nice. Now we're gonna expand this to a half salutation stretch. So our upper body's gonna be moving. So let's inhale, reach the arms up to the sky, firming the belly as you lengthen. Then with tummy tight, bring the palms to heart center, engage the core, make sure you're safe on your chair. Come forward into a forward fold and let the hands drop towards the shins or the outside ankles. Your belly could be resting on the thighs, your head and neck are relaxed. Now we're gonna inhale into a half lift. So open the heart, hands come onto lap, Even though we're leaning forward, our chest is still pressing towards the thighs. So it's almost like your spine is like an arrow shooting forward and up. And then come back down to your fold where hands are on ankles or shins. And now engage your belly. Reach the entire body tall, reach the arms tall, get that full stretch in the air, and bring palms to heart center. Nice. From this place, shake out those shoulders one last time, and now the elbows begin to circle. So as your elbows circle, I hope that you can feel your chest opening and your blade bones moving behind you. You can think of it like wading through a lazy river. Your hands are wading through the water, or maybe a breaststroke or a swim stroke, just really incorporating the side bodies and the opening of the heart. Nice. All right, so we have completed most of our beginning upper body stretches. Now we're gonna stretch out the lower body a little bit. So from this place, firm the belly. Let's all lengthen our right leg. You can hold onto your chair if you need, but really use your belly. And as you extend that right leg, just wake up through the toes and the foot. So begin to circle the foot around, spread the toes inside your shoe, whatever feels good to you. Just stretching the right leg out. And now that that's nicely stretched, keep the right leg long, but let the heel drop to the earth. So you might be towards the edge of your chair, but make sure that you feel solid. Stomach's nice and tight. You're sitting tall and well. And you may already feel a hamstring stretch if your hamstrings are tight. And if you do, that's fine. But if you want more stretch, begin to slowly lean forward, letting the chest drop forward towards the thighs. As you lean forward, you should feel more hamstring stretch. Now, if you're flexible in the hamstrings and you don't feel a lot of stretch, if you wanted to get your strap, you could wrap your strap around your foot just to add extra engage to that stretch. So you could be holding the strap like I'm showing just around the arch of your foot. And if you really need a lot of extra hamstring stretch, you could bring your upper body upright and you could lift the leg. But make sure you're solid on the chair, your sitting bones are rooted, and that you have the strength to keep the leg secure if you're using your strap. So you could have heel on the floor, leaning forward. You could have the leg lifted in the sky, depending on how you'd like to do it. And then from here, we're just gonna slowly release that, and we're gonna even out with the other leg. So the left leg, first we just extended the leg, and we began to circle through the foot, the ankle, the toes are spreading. Get a nice range of motion circling through. Nice. And then from here, keep the left leg long, drop the left heel to the earth, and take the step to sit up tall, because we want to round in the back a lot of times. We want to be active in our sitting tall. And then from there, firm the belly, draw the chest forward until you feel a stretch through the back of the thighs. If it feels harsh under your knee, you can soften the knee a little bit. We're holding and breathing. You could be securing yourself with forearm on your right thigh, the one that's stacked. And if you would like a strap for added stretch, you could hook that strap around the arch of the foot and either just hold it in place to add a little tension, holding and breathing, warm, elongated breaths. If you're somebody that needs more stretch, you could hold here, or you could sit tall and then actually lift the legs. I recommend having your arms bent if you do this so that your biceps are at torso level, because long arms could wear on the shoulders. So you're finding the stretch that works for you. It could be the leg in the air, but it could be the heel on the floor and leaning forward to get into that stretch. And then tummy nice and tight. We're just gonna release the strap, firm the belly, come up to center, shake that out a little bit. So for this next stretch, we're gonna get a little deeper. If you have the ability to widen your legs, if you have a nice chair with no arms like I do, you could widen those legs. And if that's the case, I just wanna show that you could do this stretch with a yoga block. I did not ask for a yoga block, and you don't have to have one. But if you do not feel stable leaning forward in a wide leg position, I want you to move very slowly and carefully. So first, spread the legs wide. Make sure the feet are stacked on the earth and you're stacked from ankle to knee. Sit really tall because that's your active stretch. And then you could simply prop your forearms onto your thighs. And that'll give you a beginner stretch and it'll help you to know what it's going to feel like. Begin to think about the spine like an arrow shooting forward and up, so you're lengthening the spine. If you feel stacked and safe and you'd like to move more, some people could use a second chair or a yoga block to reach forward and drop further with their upper body. Make sure you're secure on your chair. Some people might just bring their hands to the earth. Excuse me. So you're getting a nice stretch, hopefully through the thighs, through the inner thighs. You can drop those hands as low as you like. Some people might even crawl the hands forward. So just taking the stretch to your level. You could also be on forearms and propped. And then stay low with the belly firm. Let's all slowly bring our chest to be around where our right thigh is, so that our left lumbar spine and side body gets the stretch. So now we're lengthening. You might feel some stretch into the lats. The more you pull your left elbow towards the right of the room, the more you'll feel this through the upper body. And then tummy tight. We're coming back to center. Make sure you still feel sturdy, and then we'll even that out. So now bring your chest where the left leg is. Begin to lean into that. Both legs are solid. If you want more stretch, that right elbow could kind of point to the left of your room to encourage more stretch through the lats, the obliques, the lower back. And then tummy tight, come safely back to center. I'm gonna go down one more time with the fingers. Maybe it's down underneath the shoulders, or maybe you crawl forward. Then bring the hands back underneath you. Bring the hands to the lap, firm the belly to lift yourself safely to seated. All right, we've got one more stretch series in the lower body, and this one is our 4 stretch. So I want you to be nice and solid on your chair, sit nice and tall with that good posture. We're gonna take the right ankle across the left knee, flex the right foot, push the right knee away with leg energy. This is called 4 stretch. This can be a deep stretch for some. And if you find that this is not doable for you, if you are able to do a cross-legged position instead, you will still get some stretch here. But if you're able to do the opening between the legs, it's gonna give you more stretch. So sit actively tall once you're here, and this could be your stretch. But if you need more stretch, firm the belly and begin to slowly drop the chest forward towards the lap. And the further forward your upper body comes, the more stretch I hope you feel on the right hip, thigh, and glute. Make sure you feel this in your muscles, but that your joints feel safe. If your joints do not feel safe, if your knees or hips don't like it, come out of it or back off from it. And then tummy tight, sit nice and tall, and then we're gonna switch legs. So now I'm gonna bring my left ankle across the right knee. Flex my left foot, push my left knee away with leg energy, sit actively tall because that's where the stretch begins. You could stay here, or if you needed a cross-legged position, you could do that. If you want more stretch, with that firm belly, begin to lean the chest forward slowly, making sure you're still solid on your chair. And the further that your upper body comes to the lap, the more stretch you may feel on your left hip, thigh, and glute. Breathing, softening through the face, just encouraging that stretch, listening to your body. Make sure that your joints feel good, that you're stretching muscle, but not aggravating your knees and hips. And then tummy nice and tight to sit nicely tall and come back down. Shake that out. All right, so from here, we're gonna begin to get into some strength, and I'm gonna do a little bit of active strength first. So for those that can, we're gonna do sit to stand squats. So with belly nice and firm, if you have the ability to safely get up out of your chair, and if you need to be close to something, close to a wall, or maybe your chair position in front of your kitchen sink where you have something to grab onto, you could. But engage into the core and the thighs, sit yourself up, and just find your nice tall standing position. Take the time to firm the belly and know that we're gonna sit and stand several times. So with tummy tight, always making sure you're close enough to your chair. Sit the booty back with control. You can use your hands to make sure your chair is underneath you and come back down. So as we continue in squats, I really want you to take this to your level. If you have the ability to do squats and just hover your chair, you don't have to sit back in the chair every time. But for some of us, that's a great stability. So every time that you stand up, use your thigh muscles, your buns and your core. And every time you sit down, do the same thing. It's like we are exaggerating this sit to stand position. It's not the same as when we regularly get out of a chair. We want to use the muscles and kind of wear them out. If you have the ability to just hover in your squat and stand back up without sitting in the chair every time, if you can safely do that, you're absolutely fine to do that. If you do not have the ability to get out of a chair, keep going if you're doing your sit to stands. But if you don't have the ability to get up altogether, you could be doing lean back and do double leg lifts or single knee lifts. So that's an option for those of you that might be staying in your chair while the rest of us are sit to standing. You could be doing alternating knee lifts as you lean back and firm the belly, or double knee lifts if you have a nice solid foundation. Okay, make sure that your low back feels okay. Doing really nicely, you guys. Keep going. Beautiful, just moving at your speed. And then from this place, the next time that you sit down into your chair, go ahead and take a little rest. Give yourself a breath or two. Let's take a nice big inhalation and an exhalation. And another inhalation and an exhalation. And then from this place, take the time to grab your dumbbells if you're using dumbbells, and we'll just get a little upper body work in, giving the lower body a rest. So you can use, we'll do bicep curls first. So if you have two different size weights, you can use the heavier weight for biceps. Draw the arms down to the sides, lift the chest actively, tighten the belly. You feel your sitting bone root and you're nice and tall, and just begin to do front curls. So squeezing your bicep muscle as the knuckles come towards the shoulders, and allow yourself to exaggerate that feeling of engaging the muscle. So a little trick is to squeeze the dumbbell as the knuckles come close to the shoulders so that you're showing off the muscle. You're contracting that muscle. And then keep that muscle contraction as you slowly move down from your bicep curls. Just building that up. You are moving at your speed. Find a nice muscle contraction, squeezing up and slowly releasing down, and squeezing up and slowly releasing down. You keep going with those bicep curls. If it's hard for you to get the dumbbells all the way to the shoulders, it's okay for the elbows to pull forward just a little bit to help the dumbbells to come all the way up and then back down. Moving nice and slow, getting a good muscle squeeze, and then feeling that muscle even when you release the dumbbells down. Nice. Beautiful job. All right, and from here, give me about 2 more repetitions. This could also be done without weights, just contracting the muscle. The next time you lengthen those arms down, let's just relax that out a bit, and we'll move on to the next one. So from here, let's go ahead and lean forward just a bit. So lift the chest first, lean forward, but we're not rounding. We're still nice and tall. Let the arms drop down so the dumbbells are gonna be kind of around the front shins, and then pull back on the dumbbells with elbow bend. So it's kind of like a rowing motion. You're leaning forward, but your belly's tight so that you're nice and strong. Nice exhale each time you row those elbows back. Give those elbows a good squeeze so that the elbows are coming close to the body. And nice control as you lengthen those arms back to the front shins. This can be done without dumbbells or with dumbbells. You could be gazing down at the floor in front of you to keep your head in neutral. I'm trying to kind of look at the screen, but I don't want your neck to feel fatigued. So you can drop and make sure that that head's in neutral while you row. Just continuing with those reps, squeezing the blade bones. Last one here. And then drop the dumbbells to the knees and just lift yourself up. So from here, if you want a little weight for going back to legs, we're gonna kind of alternate between upper body and lower body. I'm gonna do some knee lifts from seated position. So if you wanted added weight with your knee lifts, you could just hold that dumbbell right on top of your leg, and that way you're lifting the weight of the dumbbell as well. I'm only gonna do knee lifts one at a time, so I'm gonna let go of my left dumbbell, and I'm just gonna have a dumbbell in the right hand. Firm the belly, with or without your dumbbell. Lift the knee, engaging the core while you go. Lift the knee as high as you can, and then slowly come back down. Lift the knee up, and come back down. And it's interesting, if you're not used to doing this with a dumbbell on your leg, it actually does add some weight. You could feel the difference in weight if you just let the dumbbell lightly rest on the leg. But you could also be doing this without dumbbell, or you could even be helping your leg up if needed. We're almost there. I'm gonna go for 2 more reps. Nice. And then take the time to sit up tall again, because the body forgets. Put the dumbbell on the opposite leg, just kind of above the kneecap. Firm the belly. You might need a slight lean back, but keep that belly engaged. Lift the knee, and then release the foot. Lift the knee, and release the foot. Lift the knee, and release the foot. You could be helping to pick up your own leg if needed. Lift the knee, and release the foot. Lift the knee, and release the foot. Lift the knee, and release the foot. Lift the knee, taking your time, just 2 more reps. Nice. And then you can pick up your second dumbbell, kind of regroup for a minute, and we're going to go back to upper body. So from here, your feet are stacked underneath you from knee to ankle, your belly's firm, and we're going to do a tricep move. So lean forward, but the body's still tall, so we don't feel rounded, but we feel a tall spine. Then we do a row to get us in place. When you're at the top of your row where your elbows are around your torso, maybe your elbows are a little behind your body, you could squeeze those arms to a lengthy position for tricep. So you can squeeze the arms so that they're long behind you. Now, things to think about, not only is your belly firm, but your shoulder blades have energy. So that's helping that chest to be lengthy. And also, tricep is a fairly hard muscle group for some people. So if you're trying to do this with weights, but you feel like the weights are weighing you down, keep going while I'm talking. You can just set down the weights and still do the exercise just with your own body weight. If you have those arms behind your body and you're leaning forward, you will still feel your tricep extension without dumbbells. So each time the arms lengthen behind you, kind of squeeze your hands into fists, and it'll help the triceps to engage. Hopefully you feel that a little bit. Nice. And then let's lift ourselves to seated. Shake it out a little bit. We've done a little upper body, a little lower body, preparing the body. And I'm just going to give a little neck stretch in between, because sometimes triceps can get up into the neck. So sit nice and tall. Let the right ear fall to the right shoulder as if you've fallen asleep. Shoulder blades are level and low. Face is soft. And then from this place, gently, slowly let the chin drop towards the chest. Feel the shoulder blades slide down the back. And now let the left ear come towards the left shoulder. Shoulder blades level and low as if you've fallen asleep. And then drop the chin forward. Feel the shoulder blades slide down the back. And then lifting and shaking out the shoulders and the elbows a bit. Refer to my notes for a little bit. Okay, so the next one we're gonna do is a shoulder press. You could use dumbbells with this, but for a lot of people, the weight of the arms is heavy enough. So if you want dumbbells, the movement we're gonna be doing is up in the sky, to a goalpost position. So you determine if you need weights for that or if the weight of your arms is going to be heavy enough. And I want you to, again, think about it from the beginning, because it's that active energy of that good posture, opening the chest, coming into goalpost, and imagine that your goalpost, your elbows get to slide down and almost engage your blade bones. And then as you slow motion those arms up, you want your biceps to land around ear level, and you want them to stay around ear level as you come down. So you're going to get more out of this doing these movements slow, because you're going to be doing more weight bearing that way. You could almost imagine that your arms were on a wall and you're trying not to let your forearms and knuckles come off of that wall. Because a lot of times it's easy, as the arms get tired, they start to come in front of us, and we want to keep that chest nice and open, pressing and then coming down. You can exhale through the lift and lengthen and come down. If you have dumbbells in your hands, the dumbbells could lightly touch on top and come down. And one more time, lifting and come down. And then just stretch that out a little bit. Very nicely done. This next one is another one that you could totally do without the dumbbells. If you've never done this, I recommend trying it both ways and seeing what's more appropriate, because it actually hits some people kind of hard. We're going to take that same goalpost, with or without dumbbells, firm the belly, so press the belly into the spine, but this time it's like a window shutter. So from this open position, draw your arms towards each other until the hands and the elbows touch. So if you have dumbbells, your palms would have to be towards each other. And then you open those window shutters until everything's opened up again. Firm the belly, bring the window shutters closed, your elbows touch, your wrists touch, your dumbbells could touch, and then you open again. So we're getting some chest and some back work, but you're also getting some bicep work, especially that movement of bringing the elbows together. That's really hard for some people. And then come back to that open position. Slow is best, firming the belly, breathing. Hope that you can feel the arms a little bit. If you need a little more on this movement, you could raise the elbows to shoulder level, and it will give you even more engage. It'll give you more fatigue because it's more challenging. So before I had my elbows a little under the shoulders, but now I'm showing it level with the shoulders. Nice. The next time you come out of that, just shake that out a little bit. Rest those arms. Nicely done. All right, from this place, let's do a few more squats. And this time I'm going to give you an option to do the regular sit to stand, or you could do the wide leg sit to stand. So if you're somebody that's comfortable standing, you don't have to use the chair. You could be doing this without the chair, or you could utilize the chair. So firm the belly. If you need something in front of you to hold on to, you can do that. And then you sit up tall, but now my toes are out and my knees are slightly out. And then as I sit back in my chair, I'm very controlled. I sit the booty back. I make sure the chair is underneath me. If you'd rather not use the chair and just do the wide squats up and down, you have the ability to do that as well. So you're using the thighs, the buns, and the core each time you lift, and you're sitting the booty back, making sure you feel safe and secure. Sometimes you need to adjust the legs a little wider, depending on your knee joints. Make sure that you're feeling thigh muscle, but not knee joint. Chest is nicely lifted because we want our weight to be back in the pelvis, the buns, the thighs. So that we don't want the weight of the head to draw us down. Feel that engage. Couple more here. Lifting. You could use the hands as a little counterbalance if you like. Lifting. And lifting. Nice, beautiful. All right, give yourself a couple of deep breaths. So as you're just deepening your breath, take a couple of inhales and exhales, and I want to describe the next phase of movements because I'm going to offer choices now. So we're going to do some inner thigh and outer thigh, and you can do this from seated or standing. So if you were going to do this from seated, you could do it just with your own weight, stepping out and stepping in. Or you could even, if you need the strap either to help you to move the leg or to resist, you could step out and you could resist with the strap as you make yourself come back in. So this is how you would do it from seated. Don't start it yet because I'm going to show the standing option. If you were standing, you could stand and you could use your chair or whatever you need. I'm not going to do it with the chair just to show it. But if you were standing and doing this, you would root into your standing leg, firm the belly, and then we're just doing an out and in motion. Trying to keep the toe straight with the heel. So almost thinking about pigeon-toed is going to give you more outer thigh engage. And then you have the option of doing that seated or standing, but just know that those are your two options, okay? So from this place, prepare in whichever way you're going to, and then begin your exercise. Let's all do the right leg first, and then step out and resisting in. Step out and slowly coming back in. Step out and in. So you could be doing this from standing, same leg moving all the time, and in. Make sure the core is still tight, out and in. And out and resisting in. And out and resisting in. And out and resisting in. Nice. Take a moment to regroup because we're going to even out on the other side. So it could be standing up with a nice long leg coming out and in, rooting on the standing leg, or you could use a strap or just your own body weight. So you find what works for you. Getting ready to begin. Step out, resisting in. 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 And step out, resisting in. Nice, beautiful. Take a moment to come back to your spot and know that from here we're going to do leg extensions. And this is the same idea. If you feel good standing today, if you have the strength to secure onto a chair, I'm showing it and then we'll do it together. You could add more to your movement by standing on the rooting leg, holding underneath the thigh, and doing a leg extension from standing, and that's what I'm showing. But for those of us that want to stay seated with leg extensions, you would sit on your chair towards the edge, but very solid. Your left leg is going to root, so that's going to stay put. You firm the belly, and our right leg is just going to extend out, squeezing the front thigh and coming back in. So let's go with reps. Squeeze it out and come back in. And again, squeeze it to extended and come back to the earth. Extend that leg, squeezing the thigh, come back to the earth. Squeeze that thigh, extend the leg, come back to the earth. Squeeze the thigh, extend the leg. If you need help with this, you could be using your strap, just like we did with that stretch earlier, to kind of help extend the leg. Squeezing out, come back in, and squeezing out and in. Sit nice and tall, prepare for the other side. So if you're nice and solid, you could be doing it standing, or you could be sitting nice and tall, belly firm. If you need help lengthening your leg, you could use your strap around your foot and use that as a helper. With belly engaged, this time it's my left leg that's gonna work. Just make sure you're doing the opposite leg. Extend the leg out, and then bend the knee. I'll scoot back so you can see it. Squeeze out, and then bend. Squeezing out, squeezing that front thigh, and bend. Engage the thigh, and bend. Make sure you're still sitting tall. It's easy to start to round the back, and bend. Lengthening, and bending. Lengthening, and bending, and lengthening, and bending. Nice, beautiful. Shake that out a little bit. And then from here, I'm gonna do back to upper body. So you can grab one of your dumbbells for a rowing motion. So what I like to do is sit towards the edge of the chair. And if you wanted to do this standing, just know before we begin, you could do it standing and use your chair as a support to do a long arm, one arm row. If you wanted to do it seated, you sit in your chair, you lean forward, my left hand is gonna come across my lap to make sure that I'm nice and solid, my chest is lifted. My right hand comes to that forward shin, and then you row the right arm back. So you get to choose if you want this standing or if you want to row from a seated position. But even though we're leaning forward, we're not rounded through the back. We're firm through the belly. Our spine is long. I like to think of this like the old style lawnmower, pulling a lawnmower string. Get that action of pulling, squeezing the lats of the arm that you're working, squeezing that shoulder blade. Nice, continuing in your movements. If you're doing this from standing, also remember that that belly has to be tight, your spine is lengthy. Couple more here. Nice, take the time to stand up, let your body recoup when you're done with your set, and then of course we're gonna switch sides. So however you did this, you wanna set up for the other side. Whether you're standing or seated, you wanna firm the belly, get a long spine, your left arm comes forward or down depending on your angle, and then you pull that lawnmower string, doing that one arm row. When you're doing a one arm row, it's kind of nice because you can kind of open your chest to allow your elbow to pull further back. So it gives you a little additional freedom to really get all the way through the lats, squeezing the back. So you're also going to feel a chest stretch on that side while you feel the back engage. Squeezing back. Squeezing back. Nice. Beautiful. Finishing out that set. And then tummy tight, lifting yourself tall. So from here, we're gonna do a deadlift option. Deadlifts can be done with or without dumbbells, and they can be done from seated or standing. So don't do them yet, but just know that if you're doing them from seated, you could hang the arms down, sit really tall, and the dumbbells are just lightly hanging in your hands. You begin to draw your upper body forward until your chest is basically at your lap. So it might be at your shins, your ankles, and then you let the arms just kind of dangle as your torso moves up and down with a flat back. If you wanted to do this from standing, and if you feel solid, you certainly could. If you want to stand, but you don't know if you'll feel solid, you could stand with your booty against a wall. If you stood with your booty against a wall, it would give you a nice surface to have a little additional stability. So whether you could do it seated like I showed, or you can have the dumbbells in your hands, firm the belly in from standing, maybe booty against a wall. You bring the upper body down with a long spine, just as far as it'll go, and then you come back up. So the arms are really just dangling. It's really your hamstrings, your core that are working here. So with belly firm, you only go as far down as it feels safe. It's okay to have safety softness in the knees if you are standing. And it's okay to do it free as well. It doesn't have to be booty on a wall, but that can give you extra security if you need. If you're able to do this freestanding, you can get even a little taller, which is nice. So there's essentially 3 different ways: freestanding, booty against a wall, or seated. Our hamstrings are very strong at a deadlift position. So we're doing some additional reps here. Belly's firm. Nice exhale through the lift. Beautiful. Next time that you come up to seated or standing, let's stay there. I'm going to reposition the chair because we got to do some core work before the end. So for our ending, for our last couple of exercises, For those that are seated, I would recommend coming towards the edge of the chair, and we're gonna do lean backs. And a lot of you may know about lean backs. You wanna make sure you feel secure, belly's nice and firm. Get that lifted chest first, and then with tummy tight, you're letting your long spine lean back as far as you can, and then use your torso to lift you back up. Slow is best. You could even hover so that the back doesn't touch the chair, and then lifting up. So we're nice and lengthy. Feel that the abdominals work as you lean back and sit back up. If you needed to add more to this, and if you had a chair where you could actually kind of reach the sides, you could lean back and hold that position and add a few knees or alternating knees in between your reps. But I like to show just the lean back first because the low back can be sensitive to some of the heavier movements. So if you feel solid and feel good just doing the lean back, then you might want to start there. If you needed to add a lean back and a knee lift, you could do that and then come back up to seated. So you could just be doing the lean back, or you could do a lean back and a knee lift and then come back up. Lean back, up and down, or lean back and knee lift and come back up. Lean back, knee lift. Nice. Shake that out a little bit. And now we need to do some side to side. So if you're nicely secure, make sure you're, back on the chair enough that you feel solid. And we're just really thinking about leaning from side to side to get those oblique muscles. So lean to your right as far as you can, and then lift yourself back. And then lean to the left and lift yourself back. So from the hips down, we're stable, we're not moving. It's our ribs that are moving. And if you need to use the arms for kind of a counterbalance, a lot of people in a chair are gonna do that, and that's perfectly okay, but it's your core and your obliques. The further you can lean, the more work you're doing. Keep it safe. Both sitting bones are staying on your chair the whole time you're leaning. Leaning one direction, sitting tall. Leaning the other direction, sitting tall. Leaning, sitting tall, leaning. While you're doing these side to side leans, I still want your belly pressing into your spine. Nice. Now let's alternate. A lean back, a sit tall. A lean to the right, a sit tall. A lean to the left, a sit tall, and then I'm gonna throw in touching the ankles or shins and sit tall. So we're doing all the way around. A lean back, sit tall. A lean to the right, sit tall. A lean to the left, sit tall. And then with that nice long spine, reach forward and touch the shins and sit tall. One more time through. Lean back, sit tall. Lean to the right, sit tall. Lean to the left, sit tall. And then your forward ankle or shin touch and sit tall. Nice. From this place, let's do a couple of those half salutations. If you feel like standing and want to do a half salutation standing, you could do the entire thing standing, or you could do it seated. So I'm gonna do it twice and show it both ways. If you want to do it seated, just follow my upper body movements. If you're standing, you inhale, tall mountain, firm the belly, lengthen and grow. And then almost like you're gonna sit back into a chair, a little bit of a mini squat to release to forward fold where you were folded at the hips. So this is where your hands are at the feet, upper body's rested. Now firm the belly to half lift, open the heart, hands could rest on thighs, or spine is straight like your kitchen table. And then back to forward fold. And then add some healthy knee bend to reverse your swan dive to the sky. Bring palms to heart center. So I'm going to do that one more time. If you're standing, you could stay standing and do it like that again. If you're seated, I'll join you. We inhale, tall mountain, reach and lengthen. Tummy tight, exhale to forward fold. So as the hands come down to the heart, you begin to fold at the hips. Hands might be at ankles or feet. Inhale, half lift, open heart, hands on lap. And then back to forward fold, relaxing upper back and neck. And then use the torso to reach all the way up to the sky, seated or standing. And then bring palms to heart center. And then from here, having a seat, just doing a few cow and cats to ease the back. We inhale, lift the chest and ribs, arch the back, squeeze the back body, elbows pulling back. And then roll and round like a turtle shell, squeezing belly. And again, inhale into that arched back, stretching the belly and the chest. Exhale into that rounded back. One more time. Inhale, opening through the belly and chest. Exhale, rounding. Sitting nice and tall. Continuing to stay there. And then from this position, I want you to take your choice of the hamstring stretch or the ankle circles or the fore stretch. I'm going to take fore stretch first. Right ankle across the left knee. Sit nicely tall. So if this one is not a good fit for you, you could be taking that hamstring stretch instead. You could stay here or you could lean forward, finding some additional stretch through thighs, through your right thigh in particular. Breathing, lengthening the breath, softening the face, and then firm the belly and lift the crown to the sky. And then we switch legs. Ankle across the knee, flex the foot, push the knee away with leg energy. This might be your stretch. If this is too much, it could be a cross-legged, one knee on top of the other. You could sit nice and tall. You could also be in hamstring stretch instead. If you want more stretch, lean the body forward. Feel that left thigh, hip, and glute stretching. And then come up nicely tall. Release that foot. Extend your right leg, circle the foot, circle the toes. Extend that left leg, circle the foot, circle the toes. Circle around the wrists, fist and extend the hands, a few elbow circles. You got it. Now to finish off, just sit nicely tall, take a nice inhale and an exhale. And again, a nice inhale. And an exhale. We just want to work the heart and lungs just like we worked the muscles. One last time, a nice inhale. And an exhale. Nice. I thank you all so much for joining me for a little bit of strength and stretch. I will let Michelle get back to gallery view or however we do it, where people have the ability to talk and to see each other. But I just want to tell you, thank you so much for this opportunity. Everybody there?
Thank you.